Hello, I am Lena from Infected Rain. We try not to have high expectations ever. It's easier to go through a show if you don't have super high expectations. But of course, I will be lying if I would say that, any band really is expecting a high energy, prepared fans, like at least supportive and responsive crowd. So, of course, we've noticed that Finland tends to be a little bit more polite and more quiet. This is our third show in Finland in this run, in this tour. So, we've noticed that in the past as well, the crowd in Finland is very supportive and very metal, but you have to push them extra to move a little bit. It's just a little slower. Not in a bad way, but just in a way of they take their own time to warm up. All right, so there are some crowds in certain countries that don't need that. They start moshing song number one, and just other countries just are more unique, so yeah. So that part is quite challenging always, especially for me because I have the microphone and I have to kick everybody's ass. Other than that, very, very supportive and polite crowd so far, yeah. I write ideas down for sure all the time. It really helps me not forget certain things and themes and just what I would want to go for and talk about. I like to just write them down. I did that since I was a child, and it's just a habit I have. I always write things down. But in general, as of songwriting, it's quite early for us to actually sit down and compose as of yet. But everybody sometimes just sits there and, look, I had this piece I put together. So little small things for sure. When the tour is over, we are all going home for a small break. Then we have a festival in Mexico, Latin America, and then summer festivals. In between this time, we have a few plans with the band to just put some content together. But yeah, we're just getting ready for the summer festivals. Well, I think that is very personal, and everybody should make that decision by themselves. There is definitely certain things that I'm more comfortable sharing and other things that I like to keep to myself. In this industry or any other public industries, unfortunately, you don't get to have your own alone time as much as as people think. Almost everything you do is public. Almost everywhere you go, or almost everything you say. That part, is fine because I just try to be myself no matter what. But I do like to have alone time very much. I actually do cherish having alone time. Being active on social media comes with the job. We all know how important social media can be for music and for promoting your shows, your music, your art. So yeah, yes, we take it as part of our job, and I make sure that every day I read messages, I share something, no matter how small the news or the updates are. It keeps your social media up to date, and the algorithm doesn't swallow you in that deep dark hole of Neverland where it's hard to get out of. If you literally, with social media right now, unfortunately, if you disappear for a couple of days, for you to gain back all that traction that you had is so difficult. So we just try to maintain it, that's all. I think there's already so many other AIs, not only ChatGPT. I think that computers are going to just evolve and there's nothing we can do. Why? Because this is, in a way, how our brain evolves and our brain makes discoveries, and these are the discoveries of our nations, of our era. So whether you accept it and either you use it in the best way possible, as a tool for your job, or you completely ignore it and don't use it. Now, when it comes to specifically art, I don't think an AI can be as good as a human brain when it comes to composing music, lyrics, a book, or anything. It's so obvious that it's not a human that puts words together. I've been asked many times to review certain lyrics for other bands in English, and other languages, and it is very obvious that because of their level of English, they would get help from an AI, and it's very obvious. So the reason for that is because it is still not a human being that thinks like a human, right? So I think that being against it fully will not lead to anything good, because it's like denying evolution, I just think that people should be a little bit smarter on how they use it. That's the only thing. It's the same with social media. I remember back in the day when I grew up, there was no social media, there was no internet. When internet was a thing and people started having these social media platforms, it was the same. There were so many people against it, so many people for it, and a lot of people were like, well, this is so bad for our brain and that's bad for our brain. Everything in moderation can be good for you. Depends how you use it. So just choose your tools right and use them right. Don't just rely on them. Perfect your skill. Be good in what you do, especially if you chose a career. It's okay if you can't write lyrics. Maybe hire somebody that can write lyrics. It's okay if you can't write music. Maybe hire somebody that can write music because you are a fantastic musician and you can play it or you can sing it, but you can't compose it. It's okay. There are so many examples from the past of people that never wrote their own lyrics because they are just good vocalists. And there are so many examples. I'm not going to do names, but I think this is just something that we've been through and we are going to go through, and other generations are going to probably face a completely different problem of sorts. So just use the tools right, man. Don't abuse of anything, and don't be lazy. People just get lazy and they abuse these tools, and that's very obvious to many people. We are going to evolve all the time. And going against something, it's not necessarily going to help us, There were so many people that were against electric cars because of the battery idea, and vice versa. There were so many people that were always against all these cameras that were always, there's cameras everywhere around us. I literally have friends that they don't travel because they get scanned in the airport. That's the reason why they don't travel. I respect them, I love them to pieces, but is that a good reason really not to travel? Because you get scanned and because they take your fingerprints? I don't know. I don't want to judge, but these are some examples that are similar to what you just asked. It's just a different aspect of it. All right, thank you so much. Thank you.